Central European country with half the area of Switzerland, boasts mountain ranges, an Adriatic coast, trendy cities, rivers, lakes, and perched villages. Slowly but surely, Slovenia is becoming an increasingly popular destination. And if you're a first-time visitor here, you won't be dissatisfied. Get to know these 9 magical places to visit in Slovenia in 2022. Number 9. Go on a romantic getaway to Lake Bled. Lake Bled is a site you've probably seen before, whether you realize it or not. One of Slovenia's most iconic images is the tectonic glacial lake with its island church, a floating island seemingly placed there centuries ago for the fantasy of future tourists. Many articles and travel guides feature the image. When you see this magical place, the reason is apparent right away. Even in 2 dimensions, it touches you and touches emotions you were not expecting. Get ready for fireworks when you see it in person with the one you love by your side. This snow globe-worthy setting provides plenty of opportunities for strolling or floating hand in hand. Take a boat ride to Bled Island, where churches have been built and rebuilt for millennia. The Baroque Church of Assumption dates back to the 17th century. As your vows are renewed, head to the castle at Bled, which is perched on a bluff above the lake. After an earthquake in the 16th century, the fortress was rebuilt after dating back to the early 11th century. The perfect romantic outing in Bled is not complete without a hike to Vintgar Gorge, approximately 4 kilometers from the town. The magical 5,249-foot ravine is crossed by boardwalks and bridges, which transports couples on an intimate journey. Number 8. The Rogatek Open Air Museum. Want to experience a unique tour of a museum? Visit Rogatek Open Air Museum for a slightly different museum experience. Visitors can get a taste of Slovenian culture and traditions at the museum, which offers workshops in arts and crafts, including bread baking, basket weaving, and even blacksmithing. The museum emphasizes educating visitors about local customs and traditions of Slovenia. Visitors can also learn everything about Slovenian heritage and traditions from the 19th century by touring a nearby manor originating from the Renaissance period. In the early 1980s, more than a dozen structures moved here to create Slovenia's largest skansen. The complex features regular demonstrations of traditional crafts, including weaving, bread making, and stone cutting. Typical Styrian hamlets of the 19th and 20th centuries can be replicated in the central farmhouse, barn, toplar, forge, grocery store, and vintner's cottage built by the Mitt family in the early 19th century. Number 7. Explore the architecture in Ljubljana. Ljubljana Castle, a 16th century hilltop fortress in Slovenia's biggest city, is the ideal place to explore Slovenia's biggest city. You may walk or take the funicular along a clearly marked footpath. When you arrive, explore a variety of attractions, such as the Museum of Puppetry and the Slovenian Historic Exhibition. As you descend through the Old Town, you'll be amazed by the Baroque Cathedral of St. Nicholas, which was built on 13th century foundations. The main square, Prešernov Trg, with its bright pink Franciscan Annunciation Church, and a series of bridges spanning the river. Despite the uniqueness of all 3 river crossings, the Triple Bridge, designed by superhero architect Jože Plečnik, really stands out. You'll be surprised to discover just how many of the city's architectural treasures were the result of Plečnik's brilliance in the early 20th century. Plečnik House, his home and studio for the past 35 years, is a must-see in Ljubljana. Admire the National and University Library and visit his National and University Library. Number 6. Peer into Maribor's past. Maribor is genuinely in several categories where it belongs. This city, which is about 9 miles north of the center, is the commercial hub of Slovenia's Podravska wine region and also popular among gourmets, as it boasts the Michelin star restaurant Hisa Dank. In addition to that, it is a hub for adventure activities like rafting, biking, and hiking because of its location on the Drava River. Still, Maribor's heart is a treasure chest of layers of history. With roots dating back to the Stone Age, Celtic era, and Roman era, the city boasts an abundance of historical sites for history buffs. Then take a walk north of Maribor to see the ruins of the castle known as Pyramida, which can be viewed at the Maribor Regional Museum, a history museum. At the center of the medieval town is Glavni Trg, the market square. In the old vine house, where the world's oldest vine still grows, you could admire the 16th century town hall and have a glass of wine. Number 5. The Karst Region. A look at esoteric interests. Slovenia's Karst region is a synapse between the northern alpine delights of Slovenia and the Adriatic coast of the southwest, and it takes the name from its porous limestone topography. It's not just the prosciutto, cheese, and wines here that stand out. There are also a variety of surprises above and below ground, like those found at the Kotar vineyard in Komen. Experience also the legendary white horses at the Lipizaner stud farm in Lipica, where they have been bred for more than 4 centuries. Then explore the Skojan Caves, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The caves contain 6 kilometers of tunnels, passages, and chambers filled with enough stalagmites and stalactites to spelunkers' heart's content. Number 4. Sunbathe in Piran. A Slovenian day can start with a hike in the mountains and end with a long stroll on the beach. Whenever you feel you want to soak up the sun, splash in the Adriatic and explore one of the most unique destinations on the country's 47 kilometers of coastline, Piran is the place to visit. Piran, Slovenia's most picturesque town on the Adriatic Sea, was named the most beautiful town by readers during the Middle Ages, when the town was part of the Venetian Empire. Ascend the 147 stairs to the top of St. George's Bell Tower, just next to the Baroque 17th century Cathedral of St. George, and get a panoramic view of this fascinating city. It offers a view of 3 countries. Number 3. Discover local culture at Lake Bohinj. Although Slovenia is a small country, its regional characteristics make it stand out from the rest. Every region takes pride in its own distinctive characteristics. You will find a community that takes every chance to share what they love about their landscape, food, and culture at Lake Bohinj, the largest natural lake in Slovenia tucked away in the Julian Alps. Allow yourself to indulge in whatever you are offered and listen to everything. Bohinj Lake is large. Bohinj municipality is surrounded by a large body of water that's over 4 kilometers long. It contains a number of settlements. If you plan to eat or buy souvenirs, look for the Bohinjsko label to ensure that they are local. Then you'll be able to sample or purchase cheeses, honey, kitchenware, jam, beer, and gin. Discover more about the local lifestyle at the Alpine Dairy Farming Museum in Stara Fuzina, where exhibits demonstrate how farm-to-table has been around for decades. Bohinj's International Wildflower Festival, held in late spring, is a great way to explore the Bohinj area from the ground up. Then go to the world-famous Austro-Hungarian Empire-built tracks through alpine tunnels along the tracks in Bohinjska's Bistrica, so you can travel between the Bohinjska Bistrica and the municipality. Number 2. Have a wine tasting in Goriska Brda. A superb wine region that straddles the border with Italy. Goriska Brda, or simply Brda, has grown to be Slovenia's #1 wine destination. The fertile hillsides are dotted with perched villages that offer pleasant views of the seemingly endless ranges of vineyards that stretch to the horizon. But a visit here is much more than just a sightseeing tour. To grasp the spirit behind every bottle, you must try the area's liquid gold. Get your start in Dubrovo by taking a tour of the cellars at the Goriska Brda Wine Cooperative, where you'll sample 12 of the company's finest wines. Comparable and complimentary, sip on some of the country's best wine at Simsik Winery in the village of Seglo. Be sure to request Ribula, the white variety of this region. Number 1. Take part in Bovec's outdoor adventures. Near the Julian Alps and the clear turquoise Soka River, flanked by the Julian Alps, Bovec is a haven for mountain and water activities alike. It is possible to satisfy your culture-seeking as well as your adrenaline-seeking needs by exploring the sites surrounding the country's adventure capital. Cycling along the Soka River for approximately 7 kilometers southwest of Bovec will lead you to Slovenia's highest waterfall, the Boka Waterfall. From there, you must paddle 4.5 kilometers along the Koritnica River until you reach Cluj Fortress, a 15th century wooden fortress that was later transformed into a stone structure by the 18th century, wedged between the mountains and gorges. Take the opportunity to view the exhibition describing the area's role in World War I. Be sure to list down Slovenia in your bucket list and have an adventure with your loved ones you will never forget. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.